Friends and Weaver, The Law of Life by Jack London. It is a short story written in 1901. It's a fictional and published in 1901 by Jack London, The Law of Life. So, The Law of Life is a short story by early 20th century American writer Jack London. It was first published in 1901 as a standalone piece. So, beside London's collection, The Children of Frost, and like many of London's work, his story setting theme reflects the London's experiences prospecting for gold in Yukon region of northwest Canada. It is fatalistic tone, meanwhile is characteristic of the naturalist school of literature. This movement, which emerged out of realism, is in the late 19th century sought to depict human experiences and action as product of historical forces and scientific laws. For instance, the Darwinian evolutionary theory that the law of life draws on. As the story opens, an elderly man named Koskush listens as the rest of his tribe picks up camp to seek new hunting grounds. He also hears the cries of sickly child named Kuti, whose death is imminent. Koskush was once the tribe's chief, but is now blind and sickly, and he's staying behind so as not to slow the others down. Although his granddaughter Sitkum Tua has provided him with small pile of firewood, Kaskush knows and accepts that he will die as a result of this decision. Nevertheless, he is touched when his son, now the tribe's chief, remains behind for a moment to say goodbye. Kaskush assures his son that he is at peace with his fate and then listen as he too departs. Now alone, Kaskush quickly moves to build the fire, knowing that it is the only thing standing behind him and death. Standing behind him and death. However, he remains philosophical about his circumstances. Death is an unavoidable fact of life, particularly in such a harsh environment, and Kaskush reflects that the fate of any individual is less important than the survival of the species. In fact, he believes that an individual life, only real purpose in life is reproduction, and sees little point in resisting or mourning that fact. Kaskush's thoughts next turn to various memories, including the unprecedented famine during which his mother died, and the time of plenty when the tribe felt secure enough to go to war with its neighbors. He also recalls abandoning his own father on an upper reach of the Klondike one winter. The memory that looms largest, however, comes from the Kaskush childhood. He and his friend Zing Ha were play hunting when they stumbled upon the tracks of wolf pack chasing a mouse. Following these signs, the boys eventually discovered a trail of blood leading into the clearing where the mouse was making its final stand. So, while recalling this, Kaskush briefly finds himself wishing that Sit Kumtuha had gathered more wood for him. or even that his son would return to fetch him. Instead, he hears wolves, and he remembers the sight of the moons, the torn flanks, and the bloody sides, the riddled mane, and the great branching horns, down low and tossing to the last. Kaskush feels a wolf brush against him and scrambles to grab a torch to protect himself. As he does, he hears other wolves encircling him, thinking once again of the moons. He lowers the torch and resigns himself to his death. So this is the law of nature or the law of life which applies to the human being in this short story, marvelous short story of Jack London, The Law of Life. So let us see that what themes is involved behind this short story. The theme of this short story is the struggle to survive, the inevitability of death. Over the course of the story, it becomes clear that death is the law of life, referenced in the work's title. Although the story centers on one death, Kaskush in particular, even Kaskush himself acknowledged that his fate is not in any way unique. Mortality is the law of all flesh. Mortality is the law of flesh. As such, it is everywhere in the story, not just in the Kaskush reference to falling leaves and dying animal, but also in the work's very setting. The extreme environment in which Kaskush people live ensures that death, particularly from cold or hunger, is a constant in a very real possibility even for the young and healthy. Kaskush, for instance, remember a famine so severe that not 1 in 10 of the tribe lived to meet the sun when it comes back in the spring. The story at times hints that death is not simply inevitable, but necessary in the sense that one creature's demise so often means another survival. This is part of what makes the wolves an effective symbol of death. As predators, they live by killing and consuming other animals. So, given now inescapable reminder of death are the young coons, it isn't surprising that Kaskush and his tribe's general attitude towards mortality is one of the practicality and resignation. So, ladies and gentlemen, The Law of Life, the short story written by Jack London, the very famous writer of The Sea Wolf and many other remarkable books and novels. I hope you will enjoy this sorrowful and inevitable novel, short story, which is about death, about mortality, about the old age, about the weaknesses of a human being. Thank you very much.